You have no idea the amount of ignorant mess we're about to get into right now.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
Hello and welcome to a brand new preview episode for Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Terrence.
What's up?
All right, guys, this is preview episode for episode 146. All eyes on me. I don't know why you're laughing. This movie's going to be really good. This is the 2017 Tupac biopic. As everyone knows,
Jesus.
Terrence and I are huge Tupac fans, so it's going to be good.
Right.
Micah loves Tupac. Can't get enough. Weirdly, he has Thug Life tattooed across his stomach as well. So Micah will be on the full episode, so look for that as well. Next week, we will go in depth into Benny Boom's Tupac documentary starring Demetrius Shipp Jr. Okay.
Benny Boom directed that.
What's that?
Benny Boom directed that.
Yeah, he did. He also directed SWAT Firefight, which is the direct-to-DVD sequel of SWAT. So, yeah. I think he's also done a number of music videos, too. So, that makes sense for him to do.
He's a music director. He's a music video director. That's why I was asked.
Well, that's good. I mean, we've had experience with other music video directors making their way into mainstream films, and those episodes are legendary. So here's hoping.
Okay, well,
Belly, right? That was good.
We may have a guest coming on.
Yeah, I'll have to verify that, but yeah, I think so. So he'll make his return and probably be an asshole like he was last time. So this is perfect for him. Okay,
I mean, here on this show.
On this show, yeah.
Yes.
All right, so let's
right now.
No. So let's talk about the random topic of the week, which is all about old action movie star Liam Neeson throwing his entire foot into his mouth during a press junket for his upcoming terrible movie called Cold Pursuit. In which the film is about revenge. Guy, son gets murdered or attacked or something. And so he decides to go on this revenge situation against the mob. So during a press junket, he was talking to a reporter from The Independent where he mentioned, he relayed a story about when he was younger, hearing about an old friend of his being raped. And he brandished a kosh, which is a sort of a billy club or like a blackjack, if you know what that is. He carried it around with him for. No one did because we're from America.
I don't understand that stuff.
So he took that around with him for about a week and a half as he just kind of walked around Ireland, looking for a black man to quote him, to kill him, because he found out that a black man raped his friend. So, of course, he relays a story that he's never relayed before. What are you doing here? Look at this guy. Welcome back, Micah.
Yes, thank you. The wife came back from her girls' night out, so I'm allowed to podcast now.
Oh, look at you. Yeah. Hey, leaving your poor son alone to come talk to two jackasses.
Well, he'll be all right.
All right. Well, I lied. Mike is on. Because he lied to me and said he
that.
wasn't going to be. So you can't trust him.
You didn't even see the message. That's what I was saying. We may have a guest on this show. That's what
that's what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize. Slow on the uptake. So Micah, we're talking about, we just introduced the movie for next week, about your favorite rap artist, Tupac. And,
Gross.
and so now we are discussing, Liam Neeson, putting his entire, foot and or career in his mouth.
Canceled.
Yeah, I think that's the general sentiment. So there's the obvious, like, wanting to have revenge on someone who hurt a friend of yours, right? Like, I think people can generally understand that, right? Easily. it's the racial angle that I think is what is allowing people to just turn completely off and be like, no, fuck this guy forever, which again, I completely understand. But I think that there's also a third angle to this that's even more interesting, which is, what does a conversation about race actually look like? And I think inadvertently Terry Crews kind of forced the issue in a way by him coming out and tweeting. And I don't know if I have the tweet up. Oh, I do. He says, I believe that every person on earth is capable of the greatest good or unspeakable evil. Liam is just describing his fork in the road, right? You buying that? You buying that point? Does that sound reasonable to you? I'll kick it to Micah first.
I mean, I see where he's coming from. I understand what he's saying. Look, I see all sides to this, right? At the same time, maybe speak to a therapist first, and then your agent, and then. But look,
definitely your agent. Nah, nigga, don't do that. Kidding. Liam
Neeson doesn't get a pass from me for essentially telling the world that he wanted to kill a black man, but didn't because he's not a racist. What?
Yeah, that argument does not hold water.
Attaboy?
Right.
Like, good for you. Like, what?
But at the same time, right? Like, yeah, we need to have conversations about race. And look, this is Liam Neeson being very honest about his ignorance. But it just comes off as him wanting praise for that.
Yeah, it
does it.
I think it does. Why else would you bring it up at all?
Right,
like,
because
why would you bring it up at all? I've done some shit in my life that I regret. I will never bring up.
Unless you pay $5 a month or $50 for the full year, you can listen to it. I mean, come on, like that's just an opportunity. No, I think it does say a lot when you're bringing it up in the context of, this is a revenge movie I'm doing, and then here's a revenge story. Like, that seems weird, right? Like, that people lighten into his ass over that. I 100% agree. Like, dude, this is not the time for that. Now that we're here, we're fucking here. So, like, all right, you did that. Terrence, what are your thoughts on that? Do you subscribe to the sort of fork in the road idea?
To a certain extent. He was brought up in Ireland. How many black people are in Ireland?
6.
Yeah, about that. Probably less.
They're all visiting.
52. So I can only imagine his perception. I don't know when this actually happened.
Yeah, we don't know what age he was.
He just said, funny story, back in the day. Like, what?
Not funny.
What the hell are you talking about? But yeah, I mean, I want to know exactly when it happened, because that to me is important as well.
He said he was just returning
like
to Ireland. So yeah, my guess is he was probably fairly young. I think. Yeah. So I mean, in his 20s or 30s, maybe.
Yeah, if he was in his 20s or whatever, like living in Ireland, I feel like someone in his position has a certain perception of black folks. Back then, I mean, he's fucking 60 something years old at this point. He was 20 back in the 70s. I mean, portrayals of us, even to this day, were not very. We're always seen as criminals and shit like that. Right. So when his friend said she was raped by a black guy, I'm still. Look. We have a history.
Yeah, you're shady on even that,
and them talking about getting raped by us. So I don't know about. I don't know. I don't know.
Terrence.
What?
Right on the nose.
Yeah. No. Like, that's a valid point that no one is talking about.
Like, so I'm like, I don't know about all that, but anyway. But she's saying that. Okay, it's like, okay, see those fucking black people are fucking savages. So right. I just want to get into a fight. It doesn't matter because they're all the same.
Right. Exactly.
So I'm like, okay, I get it. is completely unacceptable, and fuck you for that. But at the same time, if he learned that that was a terrible thing that he thought, that thought process was horrible, and he hasn't done it since. Okay,
like that's what growth is.
Yeah, but he's white, so I don't trust him.
Right, and again, I get it. Right.
So I was just kind of like, look, I understand why people want to cancel him, but at the same time, I've said this for like the last 3 weeks on these shows. We want people to grow, but we don't allow them to.
Yeah, because it's a weird situation, right? Because somebody had messaged us on Twitter saying, you know, you guys had literally just had this conversation on the Hate You Give episode, which is funny because like we recorded that like a month ago. So like I didn't like I almost kind of forgotten all that detail, but that's true, right? And like we were talking about just being honest about where you were in the past versus where you are now, right? It's a very like we live in a very purity generation right now, and I don't mean that like just young people. I mean like, or like a purity age, right? Like everybody is on this whole thing. It's like, it's the internet persona, right? Like this Instagram profile is who I am. Like, no, it isn't. Like, that's not who you really are. You're posing and like, you're pretending to be this perfect person. And on social media, that's sort of writ large. But as far as Nesson's situation goes, I actually do think that Terry Crews is largely correct, right? This is a fork in the road thing. And the reason why I think that is because, okay, one, before I say this, because I know nuance is dead, so you have to fucking mention every little, you know, facet of your thinking. No, I don't think Liam Neeson, what he did was okay. No, I don't think he should be like, oh, he should be carried on the shoulders of great men to say, oh, this white man didn't kill a black guy. Congratulations. No, I also don't think that thought equals action, right? Like some people were equating, well, he thought this and that's no different than this person who did this action. No, they are profoundly different. I think a lot of things. The human mind is the human brain is a minefield of fucked up shit. We all have horrible, horrible thoughts. That's why they're in your head and not coming out of your mouth. Everybody does. So even the most gutter, racist, bigoted shit, just because you don't say it, and especially if you do not act upon it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't believe in the Catholic Church view of like, you thought it, you did it shit. Like, no, that's not how reality works. Sorry. So all that being said, I do think the fork in the road analogy is not terrible. It's simplistic, but it's not terrible because it is by far the basis for how racism and sexism and ageism, how it all happens. We are informed by events that happen to us personally or to people very close to us. And that is where we go, yep, fuck those people forever. Or I'm not going to really hold everybody to that standard because that seems unfair, or some sort of mishmash in the middle, right? Like that's a fact. Like I've been thinking about this since it happened. Like, why do you think there are men haters and women haters? Where do you think that shit comes from? You think people are just born and then they just believe it? No, they see shit, they perceive shit, whether it's real or not real. They perceive things, they see things that happen. Like there are women who legitimately hate men because men have done horrible things to them. I get it. Like we can't pretend that those things are not true, right? So those fucked up thoughts that you have, while they do not excuse action, you can, it's okay to go, I get that viewpoint. It's fucked up. That doesn't mean you have to condone it, which is where I think the conversation has gone, where people refuse to act like, no, I've never had a fucked up thought about anything ever. I'm like, knock it off. Knock it off. I had 10 today, motherfucker. Like
10 while we were recording.
Right. Come on, yo, knock it off. Look, if I get cut off in traffic by a middle-aged white woman, I'm like, man, these white women are getting on my goddamn nerves. It's not all white women. It was just her in the Toyota. It's okay. By the time I get to work, I'm fine. Right? So, I mean, but that's everyone has those things. I don't understand why people think it diminishes their humanity to be human. It doesn't. What diminishes your humanity is to lie and pretend that you're something that you're not. So look, he admitted it. I think doing the press junket thing is fucking weird.
That's a really bizarre way to do it. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong?
Yeah,
I thought it was funny. Like personally, the way I was like, what?
Let me tell you a story. I once killed a guy, and that was my inspiration for joining the commuter. Like, no, don't do that. By the way, Liam Neeson has done many crimes. They're all tied to his movies. That dude totally supports the fucking Holocaust. That's why he did Schindler's List.
He's had this whole renaissance, and all of his movies during this old man renaissance. He ushered in the old man badass.
Yeah,
and they're all revenge movies.
Nah, yo, he killed a guy. Nah, fuck that. I don't trust it. Liam Neeson is a mass murderer. He's an old man mass murderer. No, but look, I do think the larger conversation, though, again, I don't think any of us excuse this idea of like putting all black people together and being like, I want to just fight a black guy so I can kill him. Like, that's not okay. Like, that is 100% unacceptable. But the idea that you can get so upset. I mean, like, I was talking to my wife. I'm like, yo, if I found out that like a Chinese dude fucking raped you, I'd have a problem with Chinese men for a fucking minute. I would. Does that mean me personally, when I go roaming the streets trying to kill random Chinese dudes or want to get into a fight, like to kill a Chinese guy? No, but I might want to fight a Chinese guy. Like, I might. I'm just saying. Like, I don't know why that's
to a wall. I'm just saying. They all know karate.
Yeah, they fucked me up. No, look, see.
Yeah, you are a bigot, Terrence. They all know kung fu.
Right? Karate, kung fu, feng shui, whatever. Same.
Karate is Japanese, Terrence.
Yeah, you getting that message.
Actually.
Yeah, thanks. Now I got to field those tweets, you fucking asshole.
Hey, look. Y'all, look.
That wasn't in the Bleach series. All right. No, but I probably would feel that. You would feel that kind of way. Like, I don't understand the idea of like, no, I would never. If something happened to my wife or a close friend of mine, I would just be like, that's a travesty. And then I'd have a cup of tea and move about my day. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Some people have fucking psychotic breaks. They can. Like, that's true. But what's interesting in this article in The Independent is like the person he had told this story to was like, I'm going to go talk to some psychologists. I'm not going to reveal your name, but I'm going to talk to them. And they basically said what we're saying is like, if you have implicit bias, like living in Ireland and knowing like maybe 2 black people, like, yeah, you are going to do shit like this. You're going to lump those groups together and things like that. Yeah. Like, Terrence, you don't like white people. Now imagine if a white dude attacked your mom. You're just going to be like, oh, it's no big deal.
I put that in the thread.
Yeah, you would lose your fucking mind.
Like, yo, I would like, look, I get it. If a white person, if I heard like a sister or any woman that I know was attacked or raped or whatever by a white dude, I already don't like y'all niggas to begin with. As a whole, I don't fuck with them.
Right. Now imagine coupling
that. Like, come on, yo. Nah, I might have the same thought. I ain't even gonna lie.
But that's all I'm saying, dude.
Look, it's human nature.
That's all it is.
This puritanical society that we live in now is total bullshit. And and it's everywhere. It is literally everywhere, all around the world. I told the story before. I was in Paris, and I was talking to this white guy, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't understand what y'all problem is with racism in America. We love everybody, black, white, well, except for the Muslims, because fuck them." And I'm like, "Whoa, dude!" But they recently had a bombing.
Yeah, right. So you can understand it.
And that shit fucking that's what did it for him. So, and no one's saying that he's gonna go out there and commit a bunch of crimes and shit. I mean, that's usually what white men do.
Right.
But
oops. Sorry, Liam.
Ethnic backgrounds in Ireland as of 2016, according to Wikipedia, white Irish, 82.2%.
Come on, yeah.
White Irish traveler, 0.7%. Other white, 9.5%. That means that the total white population in Ireland
2%
is 92.4%. Right? Asians.
The rest.
Asians.
Black Irish, which is just Irish
2.1%.
94.
Black people, 1.3%.
Right. Come on, yeah.
That much. To be honest with you.
other 1.5%.
God damn.
And people who refuse to say 2.6%.
They white. They just progressive.
Right, and they white.
They just white. They're like, well,
Wow.
I just don't want to give the numbers to the white man. Like,
So
Bob, you're white.
7 black people that live in Ireland.
Right.
Liam Neeson was looking for one of those dudes. Like,
Where's Eric? I mean, I don't think it's to me. I don't think. I think the idea of like cancel or uncancel. Look, we've talked about this before. It's just fucking stupid. It means nothing, right? The second Taken 5 comes out, y'all niggas gonna see that garbage too. So, like, whatever. Look, so to me, that part is irrelevant. What is relevant is the idea that this is an opportunity to actually have a conversation about race, and are we having it? Are we willing to actually have that conversation? Because to me, it seems like we're not. Right? Because I think if you whittle this down to, well, this white man was wilding and like that's all it is, that's not having a conversation about race. Like, this white man is wilding, but he also realized that he was wilding and then didn't. And he was like, yo, I'm tripping. Because this is basically what he said. He was like, yo, I'm tripping. This is crazy. Like, what the fuck am I doing? And then he went the fuck home and he was like, got in a power walk into some shit. Right? Like, so he realized how crazy that thought was. And then over a press junket is fucking weird. But to admit that fault and to realize what the problem was, that is what you want in an adult to grow. You don't want an adult to just be like, well, I'm going to just do it anyway. Like, no, you want them to actually grow and change and be a different person. I don't think Liam Neeson has, I mean, I'm sure he still has implicit bias. I mean, that's just, nature of the beast. But I don't think Liam Neeson is like, no, I want to still kill black people. I don't really think that's how he rolls. So I don't know. I mean, do you guys feel like, Terrence, I mean, you had made a comment on Facebook that you don't even think this is going to help just because people really don't want to look at themselves.
I don't think anyone gives a fuck. Really cares.
Oh, about the entire situation.
Yeah, I think they just heard a white dude say, I wanted to kill a black man. And given history, that's really, really, really fucked up. And it's normal. Like, it just kind of is.
Yeah.
They heard that and they're like, well, he's canceled. The end.
Yeah, I don't think people read this article, by the way.
That's it. I don't think they give a fuck. Like, next week, I ain't going to talk about it no more. We're going to move on to somebody else.
Whoever's getting canceled next.
Yeah, whoever's getting dragged on Twitter for whatever the fuck reason they're going to be getting dragged for, whether it be because they don't believe a story or whether they, you know what? I'm not even.
You don't.
Fuck it. I don't even feel like getting. No.
I'm not gonna get into what, sir?
Don't worry about it.
Look. Don't come back in here on your bullshit, Michael. Get the fuck out of here.
Look, we're just going to be moving on to the next thing.
Yeah,
it's not going to start a bigger conversation about anything.
Do you think that conversation? Do you think that conversation can ever happen? I'm starting to believe that it can't.
No,
I don't think so. Because if it didn't happen in the 60s when we got the right to vote, it ain't gonna happen. Again, that was like the biggest time. Like now, like people have cell phones and we see a lot more cops killing black folks and people of color.
Yeah.
And that all of those videos clearly show implicit bias against people of color and black folks. And they still don't want to talk about it. It's like, well, what was that person doing? It's white people, yo. They don't want to talk about it because they don't think they're racist.
Yeah, I think that's true.
It. Like I don't like black people go to the extremes, and I understandably so.
Right.
But like white people just don't want to talk about it at all because they don't like talking about race. Because why does everything have to be about race? Like, because it fucking is.
Because it's your fault.
Yeah, you fucking biggest.
Like, why is everything about race? Move over, black.
You don't want to talk about it. Y'all get on my motherfucking nerves.
See, look, Terrence is breaking right here.
Yeah, but every time I think about it, sometimes I just be like, y'all really get on my goddamn nerves. Yo. Y'all niggas don't grow. You don't. Like, you should know better at this point.
I think you're right. I mean, what was it? Chris Rock had that one line of like, oh, the country has gotten so much better on race. He's like, no, white people have gotten better on race. It's not our fault. We're waiting for you to grow up. What the hell are you talking about?
Catch the fuck up.
Yeah. No, we're good, actually. People should be treated equally. Yeah, we're already there. Anyway,
people should be treated equally. And since y'all are the majority, how about you catch the fuck up?
Yeah, no, I agree. But I do think there is a larger. I do think there is a larger point that I don't think a lot of people. But I do think white folks have a certain just different level of needing to catch up, right? Like they do. There is a lot of like put their fingers in their ears kind of thing. But I do think there is a lot of just not wanting to, and I think because that sort of purity age that we live in. People not wanting to address their own shit ever. And I think like people being mad at Terry Crews for being like, yeah, people, people come to forks in the road. Like we were pretending that that's not true for everybody now.
Like, here you go defending the white man. I'm like, oh my God, really?
But that's
what we're doing.
I guess that was my biggest issue is just whittling this down to this is what white people do. Like, no, this is what humans do, actually. Like, and I know it's easy to get off a human conversation because race is involved, but it could have been just any dude. Like, now, of course, Liam Neeson being white and living in a country of like 9 bajillion percent white people. If a white dude had raped his friend, probably the truth, then he would.
That's math, yo. Like that's math. Like I'm sorry.
Quick, no, that's quick math.
But the odds are not in our favor.
No, they're not. They're not. They're not.
That's
I think Liam Neeson's friend is also a racist. Yeah, nobody's talking about that. I think maybe. Like, yo, come on. What?
You're like, a black guy raped me. Like, wait, what?
Who?
That's bizarre.
I don't know who he was.
What
was there's 3 of us. There's 3 in the town. Which one is it?
She said it happened in like London or some shit like that.
Was it Tyrone Darius or Ty Darius? Get the fuck out of here. Like, knock it off. There's 3 of them. Come on, stop it.
Oh man. And again, I would. That's the other. That's why I keep saying I want to know when this happened.
Yeah.
Like, what year did this happen in?
Yeah.
Was it the 70s? Was it the 80s?
Right.
Because that actually matters, regardless of what you believe. That shit does matter.
It does. It absolutely matters. It absolutely matters. Like, if Liam Neeson was like, if this was like 2005, my nigga,
like, nah, you get the fuck out.
You gotta go, yo, come on.
No, go somewhere.
He was like, no, I just got back from filming Taken. I went home. Like, no, wildly unacceptable. And again, it's always unacceptable, but like. Youth is a very different thing, right? A youthful brain is fucking dumb. Like it just is.
That would have been him at like 50.
Yeah.
Talking about, I need to kill a black dude because a black dude raped my friend. That's the
allegedly. Allegedly.
Yeah.
No, I mean, at this point, unfortunately, there's nothing to prove or not prove about that. But, no, but I do think a conversation about race really needs to happen. But more and more as these topics come up, I'm not sure people really want to have them. And also, conversations are not one way. I think that's another thing. People don't really know what a conversation is. I think people think a conversation is like, we just get to yell at white people for hours. Just like, oh shit. Like, that's not a conversation, actually.
That's called catharsis.
Yeah. And look, I get it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Personally, but like sometimes.
It feels great. That's the point.
No. I blame Obama. White people helped elect Obama. That was their contribution to the racial conversation.
Yeah, racism is over at that point.
Yeah, we elected a black president. You're good. You're welcome, blacks.
Right.
That was it.
And then they decided to double down and go the complete opposite way.
Well, that's the most American thing of all time, isn't it?
Yep.
And if that isn't a symbol of racism not being over, I don't know what the fuck is.
Yeah.
Look who's in office.
Yeah. 6'3", 239 pounds of pure racism, right? Or 6'1", 375.
Would you say I look forward? You believe that there's a 2, a 3, and a 9?
Yeah, you switch those numbers around any way you want.
That shit had me crying. I think Andy said, like,
Andy did.
There's a 2, a 3, and a 9 in his weight.
Yeah.
It was like 932.
932, that's right. Fucking fat ass.
Oh, God.
So,
fat.
Yeah, fuck him. Yeah, but look, I do think, Micah, what are your thoughts on that? You think that like a true conversation about race, do you ever think it'll happen?
But what does a true before you get to what does a true conversation about race look like?
Well, therein lies the question, right? For me, I guess it looks. Well, here we'll let Micah answer whether he thinks it's going to happen, and then we can kind of round robin about what we think it looks like.
The factors that have all the stars that have to align for what I think a true conversation about race is. I mean, we would essentially just have to hit the reset button. Like someone would have to drop a nuclear bomb on us, and we would it would be the Watchmen thing. The Watchmen thing would have to happen. Someone would have to summon Cthulhu, and the races would have to come together, and then for some strange reason have to have a conversation about race to fix that's because that's the only way you can stop the Cthulhu.
So a common enemy, basically.
Yeah, we would have to have a common enemy. I mean, when was the last time America was unified?
World War II. Not even really. No, never.
9/11, not 9/11.
For about a hot minute, then we were like, "Yo, Muslims did it."
But there are Muslims in this country, so
right. Yeah.
There you go.
You know what? There you go. Never.
You know what we need? We got to get into a war with Russia and just be like, "Nah, fuck that." Yeah, maybe we need an Ozymandias.
Nah, we need to get into a war with space aliens. Like,
yeah, we need Independence Day.
Yeah, yes, no, that's true.
We need Independence Day.
That was
Independence Day was the most racially diverse.
It was
non-ageist, non-sexist, like a
flag
waving thing.
I like that movie. It's ridiculous, but I like it.
No, I don't. The movie's fucking dumb and it's not realistic, and not because they're fighting aliens.
Yeah, okay, I was like,
because the president is a fighter pilot. And Jeff Goldblum, the cable guy who went to MIT with a MacBook, flies into space and gives the aliens a bite. Like, all right. Like,
that movie. No, look. Just a quick aside for like our on our nerd side. That movie might be the best version of bringing people together. Will Smith, a black man, Jeff Goldblum, a Jewish guy, go into space together to save the world. Meanwhile, back on Earth, a white hillbilly kills all the other aliens, and everybody coalesce under a great speech from a fucking mediocre president, and everyone loves that speech. It's kind of amazing. Yeah, the only problem is there were no female pilots.
They even put a religious aspect in it.
They did.
And it was Judaism.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't Christianity.
Yeah.
Like, that's the one thing I'll give that movie credit for, is that it literally brought together everybody.
That's what we need. There you go.
Roland Emmerich's magnum opus.
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
The grand opening, grand closing. Yeah. That nigga sucks.
I love that movie.
It's good. But no, I think that's probably true. I hate to say that, but I think you probably need aliens. I think that's actually probably the answer to the age-old question.
So that's my funny way of saying no. I don't think it'll ever happen.
Oh, sad.
No.
Aliens,
because it's like a conversation about race can't just be black folks and white folks.
It can't be.
It can't be. It's got to be everybody. Everybody got to be at a table.
And everybody's just going to be shouting.
Yeah.
Right? Like no one, like you take one representative, look.
We need a Knights of the Round Table, right? Each group has to send one person.
Think of this. Each race grabs the most ridiculously woke person on Facebook that represents them, right? The Asians get the love life for the Asian guy.
Yeah.
The black people get Sean King.
Wait, what?
Nah, yo.
You can't do that. Yo.
Nah, yo. Nah, black people be mad because they not sure about it.
The jury's still out.
Okay. Light-skinned black people get Sean King.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right?
That's fair.
Who would?
No, we would have to get D.R.A. McKesson, right?
There you go.
Yeah,
gay, black, yeah.
Yeah, but we'd have to. But that's technically 2 seats because you got to give one to his vest. I'm just fucking around.
I mean, who would white people get?
Tom Hanks?
Richard Spencer?
Oh, come on. He's a Nazi. Wow. God damn.
I mean, look, they're a representative.
I mean, yeah. No, everybody else at the table just gang up and just beat the shit out of him. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who the white representative would be. I guess maybe a bridge for white people. Would they just hire Rachel Dolezal? She just come in? She'd be like, I can speak their language. Fuck you, lady.
We can't think of a white dude.
Yeah, that is kind of fucked up. Oh, you know what? No, Tim Wise. Tim Wise is woke as fuck.
He is.
Yeah, he's super woke.
What's the comedian? What's that dude's name?
Bill Burr. Send him.
Yes.
You know what? Fuck it. White people get Bill Burr. That's fair.
So fucking funny.
He's got a black wife. He's got a half black daughter.
Now that I think about it, yeah, that's probably the best fit.
Yeah. Nah, he's from Boston. Come on. Yeah, that's the best fit.
He's got a little bit of it in him, but he's got married to a black wife, so it's like
he lives in LA now.
He's not completely a racist, but you might have like a little Michael Rappaport in you.
Yeah. And they're friends too, so definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Bill Burr is the white representative. That's pretty good, by the way. That's not bad.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And then like I don't know who gets to represent the Muslim world, but yeah, no, everybody's got to be at the table. We all agree on a representative, right? We send them to the table and they just they figure out the equity of this shit, and they come back like with the fucking 10 commandments. They're like, these are the percentages we've agreed on. And then then we're cool. But until we can get that fucking Knights of the Round Table shit going, no.
That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen, guys.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if people remember, it seems like it was forever ago, but like Obama, remember when he did that speech on race that he wrote? Can't imagine our fucking current president writing anything besides his Big Mac order. But he wrote that speech about living in basically both worlds. And black people were like, wow, that was a really great speech on race. That was really interesting. And white people were like, he called his own white grandmother racist. Fuck him. It was like, all right, well, we're done. God damn. So it's so hard to actually have a real conversation because it actually, in order to have a conversation and to come to some level of, I don't want to say compromise because you shouldn't have to compromise your humanity, but in order to come to some middle ground, you're going to have to give up some shit. And people don't want to do that. Because you're going to have to give up some hurt that you've been holding, and other people have to give up some power that they're holding.
Oh, you definitely ain't doing that.
Yeah, but that's the number one reason why it doesn't happen is because it requires giving up power, and also somebody saying to you some shit that you don't want to hear or that you didn't know, like white privilege. White people fucking freak out.
Yeah, boy. I don't have any privilege. I had to work for everything I got. You don't know what it means.
Yeah, you don't know what it means.
Yeah,
you don't know what it means.
Yeah. So
toxic masculinity, being masculine isn't toxic. That's not what it means. That's not what it means.
Yo, niggas are mad about a razor commercial. They mad about a razor commercial. Don't be a piece of shit. You don't tell me what to do, Gillette. All right. Why are you
start buying your razors and throwing them in the trash because
yeah, good.
That's what we do. Fucking morons. Jesus Christ.
I use Bevel and Dollar Shave Club. I'm good. Thanks. I'll just not be a prick. It's easy.
It's not that difficult. It really isn't.
It isn't. What was that? That one guy's response was they were like, here's a Gillette commercial. And he just posted something on Facebook with him and his sons holding guns. It was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Cotton field. Him and his son were holding guns, and his daughter was just sitting there with nothing.
And she looked fucking terrified. She's like, yo, there's so much toxic masculinity around me. I'm terrified. And rightfully so. Run, girl. Get the fuck out of there.
Who would get mad at somebody for being like, hey, maybe we need to police our own and don't be a dick. Fuck you!
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we need to police our own. Isn't that what all groups want? Yeah, it's amazing. It is amazing.
Isn't that what racist groups want?
Yeah.
They believe in all that separation and shit.
Yeah.
So even the racists don't know what they want.
I'm not eating tofu, I can tell you that.
What?
They don't want to be soy boy beta cucks.
I still don't know what the fuck that even means. It's like, what?
I think it has something to do with not eating steaks all the time. And not having high cholesterol. I don't really know. I'm not gonna be some fucking gay vegan. I'll tell you that. All right, good job, Bubba. All right, but I think that's pretty well exhausted issue. of a conversation on race and why it will never happen.
That's sad.
It's actually kind of sad. But I guess we try to make progress.
I wouldn't be the one to have the conversation.
Well,
I'm not smart enough.
Okay.
I'm smart enough for it, but I don't have the patience.
You're not patient enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but you had during Micah's wedding, right?
Yes,
People don't know this. I'm going to throw this out there. It's not that big of a secret. But during Micah's wedding, when we all went down to the state that will not be named, Florida,
state.
Terrence's favorite, his home. You had a very frank conversation with Jack, who's in the network, who is a white man. And you guys were talking about race. You guys got really drunk, and I think Jack was also high.
We had like a box of Franzia, and we
talked
about race for like an hour and a half.
Box of wine.
Yeah, it was very interesting, to say the least.
If only the cheapest of wine could bring us all together.
Yeah, we had the conversation.
Now, how did that go? Did you want to punch Jack in the head?
I was drunk, and I'm not an angry drunk, so maybe if I wasn't drunk, maybe
then you would have been angrier. If I wasn't drunk right now, I'd beat the shit out of you.
But no, it was. Honestly, I don't even remember. I was drunk. I just know that we had the conversation, and it was like an hour and a half.
Did he ask you why he can't say nigger?
I don't think he did.
I would have remembered that shit.
I would have remembered that shit.
That has a tendency to cut right through the alcohol. Like, wait, what?
I'd have sobered up real fucking quick. Like, nigga, what?
Like, no, but I want to say it. Like, don't do that.
Nah, but yeah.
It's a song, Terrence. It's a song.
Yeah,
it's just lyrics.
Made by a black person.
You're watching the Black on Black Cinema YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our full reviews of black movies, past and present. And every other week, we do a preview episode where we talk about a random topic that affects the black community.